Should I get the COVID vaccine? I am 35 years old. Other than being about 10 pounds over my ideal BMI, I have no other known health conditions. I got the virus back at the end of March. My swab results came back on March 31st that I had it. I spent a week off work at home. It seemed like each day I got progressively worse. I would wake up sweating my balls off, but freeze if I took blankets off. I went to the hospital on April 5th. On top of COVID, my electrolytes were dangerously low. The hospital put me into an isolation room that has this weird machine that looks like a window unit air conditioner. This machine took inside air and released it outside. I was liquid shitting non-stop. I still have any itchy ass from using hospital quality toilet paper. It was hot as fuck in there. I was sweating non-stop. I'd have the nurses change my bedding twice a day because it was so swampy. My taste had changed a bit. Certain things I previously enjoyed now tasted rancid. Example: I put ketchup on everything. I remember tasting it a few days after being diagnosed and it tasted like pure vinegar. I also would sometimes get this weird oily smell like WD-40 was in my nostril, then would just vanish. Those 5 days in the hospital were hard. Nobody can visit you. You feel like shit. It's hard to sleep because it's not comfortable and hotter than the devil's dick. Once I got out, I experienced some symptoms that I'm not sure were directly related to COVID. Long COVID. I could not sleep. I mean, I don't think I slept for more than a few hours in a 2-week window. I just couldn't shut my brain off. My anxiety level was through the roof. I'm normally pretty chill. But these effects were something I had never felt before. I had to get a hold of my doctor regarding it because it wasn't getting any better. He put me on some sleeping medication that really knocked me out and some anxiety medication that's also used to treat people with schizophrenia. Note: other than smoking some pot a few nights a week, I do no other drugs, medicinal or recreational. I had to be on oxygen the entire 5 days I was there. The hospital. Side note: I was visiting my dad in the same hospital about a month ago and ran into a nurse I recognized. We chatted about my bout with COVID. She said she firmly believed that I wasn't going to make it. Having someone in the medical field, albeit not a doctor, so grain of salt, tell me they thought I wasn't going to survive scared the shit out of me. It really put things in perspective that I'm not immune to this thing and I'm not invincible. The day I got out of the hospital, I took a shower after coming home and had my first shave in close to 3 weeks. I had lost about 15 pounds. Water weight. It came back. My face looked so disheveled. My eyes were dark and sunk in. My wife took a pic of me on the couch with my dogs. But every time I saw it, it kinda made me feel uneasy as it didn't look like me. Once I recovered, I got set up with getting vaccinated. My second dose was in May. Obviously, getting a vaccine is a personal choice. I just like to tell people what happened to me as it can happen to them. I like to tell people that although this thing hits everyone differently, it hit me like a truck and I feel I'm in general good health. This wasn't just the flu. I feel this was by far the worst sickness I've ever had. Easily the closest to death I've come. I got the vaccine because I was genuinely afraid that if I got COVID again, especially when my lungs were in a weakened state, that I'd be toast. Edit. Luckily I live in Canada and my entire stay in the hospital were paid for with tax dollars, along with the medications I required afterwards. My time off from work was also covered. Can't remember how much. Guessing about 80% of my wages. By our COVID relief fund. Unless you have a pre-existing medical condition or a history of bad reactions to vaccines or other medicine. Yes. If you have a pre-existing medical condition or a history of bad reactions to vaccines, talk to a doctor first and then do what they say. Yes. A friend died yesterday of COVID. Not vaccinated. Otherwise health 40-something. Get vaccinated unless you can't for some reason. I hadn't been vaccinated in 23 years. 2 life-threatening reactions when I was little. But I decided that the risks of COVID were high enough, and the mRNA vaccines are different enough, that I got the vaccine anyway. It went fine and now I have much more peace of mind. Don't let the emotions of other people or even yourself get in the way of anything. Talk to your doctor about any health risks. They'll know better than anybody here about health. But if you're going for a more general answer, yes, get it. Risks are typically low, but again, that is all a conversation to be had with whatever doctor you trust. No, just trying to get your attention. Yes, get it. Yes, I just spent $4,000 because vaccines to measles were not common 50 years ago. In 5 years I'll have to do it again. Get the shot. Any doubts regarding the vaccine should be put to the side now that the FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine. However, this is a question best answered by your GP, who knows and understands your health history. Together you should be able to come up with a decision that is best for you in the long run. Yes. Absolutely. I have a breakthrough case right now. I have some congestion and that's all. My unvaccinated family members who I got it from have been in the hospital, having trouble breathing, and having to get experimental treatments. Pfizer is FDA approved now. If that makes you feel better. GIF. I was terrified and put it off forever. Finally got my first shot 3 weeks ago and got my second this past Saturday. Even got my daughter, 13 years, hers. We got the Pfizer. I was hardcore anti-vax for years but did actual research and realized they are beneficial. Good luck, Blue Heart.
Yep.
As Shia LaBeouf once proclaimed, just do it. Quote. Most likely yes. Very, very rare cases where you shouldn't. 1. Do you have a pre-existing medical condition that might not interact well with the vaccine? 2. Have you had an adverse reaction to a vaccine in the past? Not, oh I felt sick, but actual anaphylaxis or similar. These are obviously legitimate reasons to be concerned about receiving a vaccine. Any vaccine, not just COVID. And something to speak to an actual doctor about. If you answered no to the above and still aren't sure. Do you like traveling? Do you enjoy going to concerts, sporting games, etc.? Depending on where you live, events such as these are going to require vaccination in the coming months, years. A vaccine is definitely a personal choice, but you have to be aware that your choice will carry consequences either way. I would, if I were you.
Yes.
Do you want this shit to be over? Then yes. Oh hell yes. Whatever side effects you'll get, unless you really have a bad allergy to the vaccine, is not even close to the benefits you and the people around you will get from you being vaccinated.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.